Welcome to the Galactic Mayan weather report. So I'm coming to you today from Ubud in Bali, the beautiful island of the heart. And it's such a magical place that really, if you've been here, you'll know it's frequency, it's a tough lover. It's really such a beautiful island, so deeply immersed in spirit that she really opens up your heart with whatever it takes. And I'm here for a very special reason. I'm joining up with an old brother of mine, Dan Regan, to go on a deep dive into the Venus sequence with the gene keys, which is all about how to really step up in full self-responsibility and accountability for how we step into our relationships, how we create, how we attract what we bring into our reality, how we interact with that, co-create with others around us, and take responsibility for our part in our reality. So that's a super exciting thing, with the full moon in Scorpio coming up this Sunday, Monday. So if you're in Ubud, Bali, then please do check out the event. I'll link it below. It'll be at the New Earth Haven. It's at Villa Akasha. It's an exquisite place. So there's still a few more spots. So that's this Sunday and Monday under the Scorpio full moon. But now back to the weather report. We've just closed off the 13 days of the white Wellbridger energy yesterday with the white cosmic mirror. And that was 13 days about really going through the process of what are we ready to let go of? What no longer is serving us that we can surrender, both on a collective level and on an individual level. And for me, I also lost my voice. So it's coming back just in time to do this weather report, and hopefully it'll be nice and solid for when we do the event. So this white Wellbridger was really about bringing up, it's like I think I said in the last weather report, it's like when you check in at the flights, which I've done a few of recently in the last week, and at the check-in desk, they say how much you've got 20 kilos. So, you've got 22 kilos in your bags, you have to get rid of 2 if you want to go to this new place. And in a way, the white Wellbridger is that aspect. It's saying we're moving into a new world. We're moving into a new reality where prosperity is there for all. But in order to get there, we all have to let go of some of our old baggage. The old stories that we carry and still use to blame the outside world for our situations. And, whatever has come up for you, understand that it's a process. It doesn't just go away instantly. And it can be very confronting. And so today we open up the blue storm Wavespell. So the blue storm is arriving today. And so for this 13-day wave of the blue storm, we're going to have the energies coming that are going to help, in a sense, shake up our reality, to help kind of, I keep getting the vision when I think about this Wavespell of, a wet dog, when a wet dog comes out of the ocean or comes out of a pool, and how they just shake themselves and all that water just flies off them. In a way, that's the blue storm Wavespell. It's here to really catalyze and shake up our realities, to help us to let go of those things we've identified during the white Wellbridger, and actually once and for all let them go. And then the rains of the storm are here to help purify, to wash away the old, so that we can fully embrace this new wave that's coming through. And so along with this full moon in Scorpio that's coming up on Sunday and Monday, this moon itself, I'm actually watching, there's almost like a perfect storm from all the astrological elements, from the Mayan dream spell, all these different things that are not necessarily so related. And as I'm doing this report, the moon is directly in front of me. And there's so many things lining up right now that this is a very auspicious time. We've got a very powerful moment in our reality over these next days, these next 2 weeks, to step up and say that's enough, and to take actions in our day-to-day life to actually change our habits, to change these patterns and these addictive patterns that we have, that we use to distract ourselves from the discomfort of acknowledging our own part in what we don't like. And so I encourage you in this 13 days of the blue storm, that when the discomfort comes, when you find yourself triggered, instead of automatically reacting from those old ways that you would normally react, especially with family, loved ones and workplaces, because there's gonna be fire, there's gonna be juice being squeezed. And instead of reacting to these triggers, see if you can use your breath, bring your awareness in, and ask yourself, what is this trigger actually triggering in me? Because for it to be a trigger means that there has to be a trap of some sort inside, some kind of detonation inside you that was waiting to be triggered. So instead of automatically blaming or looking to offset that uncomfortable feeling by pointing the finger at the person doing the triggering, and no matter how right or wrong morally you may be, have a look inside and see, what is this triggering? What is it inside me is still holding on so much to needing to care about this external validation from this world around me? And why am I reacting? And because when you bring that awareness into that, it suddenly gives you the power to respond. It brings sovereignty. It brings this real power to make a decision. Do you want to keep responding that way? Do you want to keep doing these same patterns? Or do you want to do something different? And this is the perfect time, especially over these next few days, to do something different, to let go of that old baggage, to choose to respond differently to the world around you. And this is a great time to really look at your daily habits, your daily rituals. You know, are you honoring your sleep habit, your sleep hygiene? Are you going to bed and getting enough sleep? Or are you still pushing yourself late, you know, with all these excuses of, oh, but there's so much to do, I don't have enough time in the day? Because the more we do that, the less efficient we become during the daytime. The less we get done, the more we need to stay up. And it becomes this perpetual kind of, you know, running in that circle that never ends. And so it comes down, there is only one person. There's only one person can make these changes in your life. And that's you. So ask yourself, are you doing all that you can in your current reality to provide yourself with the most nurturing environment, the most conducive environment to step up and be you? And if you're not, that's okay. Just be aware that you're not. Be aware of where you yourself are playing that role, and start taking baby steps. You know, don't rush it, but start correcting. Drink more water, eat some healthier food, try to cut the sugar back maybe. You know, maybe it's cutting back on a little caffeine, having more power naps during the day instead of another coffee. You know, maybe creating more space for yourself instead of always running after everyone else. Get to bed earlier, wake up earlier. Create some rituals that give time for yourself, some meditation, yoga, movement, stretching, whatever it is. Don't make it complicated, make it simple. Because this blue storm is shaking up the stuck energy inside all of us. And that means we will get so much more energy to work with. So let's be cautious. No, let's not be cautious. Let's be conscious about how we choose to use this new energy. This energy that gets freed up through these, you know, catalysts and triggers. Do you want to use that to feed the old you, the old patterns that we've kept ourselves stuck in? Or do you want to use that new energy that's being freed up to create, to invent a new way of being, a new reality? And I know what I want to choose. So I'm looking forward to this deep dive. It's a beautiful crew of people coming together. We're going to dive deep into this idea of relationship and how we co-create together and how we can be more self-responsible and more accountable. And I'm looking forward to really bringing more of myself to the table. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of you coming to this table. So enjoy the blue storm. And remember, the more you try to run away from the catalysts and triggers in your life, I have to change over the hand. It's getting a bit painful holding onto this thing. So we're going to get another view of the island. But yeah, so remember, as we finish off this weather report, the more you resist the catalysts and changes that are happening right now around the world and in yourself, the more you are pulling yourself away from the center of the storm where the power really is. And if you think about a big, cyclone, this big storm that's whirling around, it's on the outer perimeters of a storm where the most destruction is happening in these big hurricanes. And the more you resist, the more you pull out, and the more you're getting hammered by the turbulence through the resistance. But if you surrender to the storm, if you learn to love and to dance in the eye of the storm, that's the center of the storm, then you become like Eckhart Tolle. He's a blue self-existing storm, and a great example of what happens when a storm finds its center. That's the capacity of this Wavespell, the power of now, to bring yourself right into the center and to be witness to this incredible change that's happening. And for all these storm hunters around the world, they talk about that there's this mystical experience when you've been in a massive storm and you're in the eye of a cyclone or a hurricane, that in the center, there's this eerie silence, this quiet, this stillness. While around everything is raging, in the center, it's still. And so that's what we want to endeavor towards during this Blue Storm Wavespell. To allow ourselves not to run away from the catalysts and triggers, but lean into them. To feel them and find your center as a witness and experience them. And allow that stillness to rise up in you. And allow the changes to happen. To let go of the old and let it be gone for good. And allow this new energy that comes up to consciously choose to target that energy towards the new. So dance in this storm. Enjoy the rains and the madness. And I'll see you during the middle of the Wavespell with the red resonant serpent, a very fiery, centering energy. And I'll see you there. In Lakesh, so much love.